The cafe buzzed with life. Business people in suits chatted over espresso. Laughter, the clinking of cutlery, and the aroma of grilled salmon and truffle fries filled the air. Daniel Carter sat alone by the window, his fork nudging at a nearly untouched steak. He wasn't hungry. His mind was clouded deals, deadlines, the board's pressure to double profits. He had everything money could buy: a penthouse on Park Avenue, luxury cars, and a personal chef. And yet he felt hollow. Just as the waiter reached to clear his half-eaten plate, a small, hesitant voice broke the rhythm of the room. "May I have your leftovers, sir?" Time slowed. Daniel looked up, startled. Standing beside his table was a little girl, maybe 8 or 9, her coat threadbare, shoes too big, and cheeks red from the winter air. Her small hands clutched a plastic grocery bag with holes in it. But what stunned Daniel most was her eyes, clear, brown, and filled with something he hadn't seen in years: dignity, not despair. Murmurs spread around the cafe. People stared, some judging, others simply awkward. Daniel blinked. "Are you hungry?" She nodded slowly but added, "It's for my mom. She hasn't eaten in 2 days." He couldn't speak. He just stared at her, heart suddenly pounding in his chest. She reminded him of someone. No, 2 people: himself as a kid, and his sister Mia, who raised him while their single mother battled addiction. The little girl didn't beg or cry. She just stood there, hope flickering in her eyes. Daniel pushed the plate toward her. "Actually," he said, voice steadying, "take the whole thing." Outside the cafe, the snow had begun to fall lightly, dusting the sidewalk. Daniel, inexplicably moved, stepped outside and caught up with her. "Wait," he called. She turned. "Thank you for the food, sir." "What's your name?" "Leela." She replied softly. "Where do you live?" She pointed down the street, a few blocks away. "My mom's sick, so I go out to find food." Something inside Daniel twisted. "Is your dad around?" Leela shook her head. "He left when I was little. It's just me and Mama now." He stared at her for a moment, then crouched down. "Mind if I walk with you?" She hesitated, then nodded. As they walked, Daniel asked, "Do you go to school?" "I used to, but Mama can't walk me now, and I don't want to leave her alone." She spoke with the calmness of someone too young to carry such weight, but doing it anyway. 10 minutes later, they arrived at a decaying building. The hallway reeked of mildew and forgotten lives. On the 3rd floor, Leela led him into a cold, dim apartment. There was no furniture except for a torn mattress in the corner, a bucket with water, and a blanket draped over a frail woman coughing uncontrollably. "Mom," Leela whispered, kneeling beside her, "I brought food." Her mother opened her eyes weakly. "Bless you," she said, tears welling up. "And who is this?" Daniel introduced himself. Her name was Sandra. Once a cashier, she lost her job when illness struck, and without insurance or savings, everything unraveled. Daniel didn't stay long, but before he left, he slipped his business card on the nightstand, and whispered, "Help is coming." Back in his penthouse, Daniel sat on his leather couch, the city glowing beneath him like a galaxy of lights. But he felt nothing. He poured himself a glass of scotch, but didn't drink it. His thoughts kept returning to Leela, her coat, her strength, her eyes. He remembered being 10 years old, crouched in a stairwell, sharing a stale sandwich with Mia, while their mother slept off another bad night. Mia was the reason he made it. She fought to keep him in school, encouraged him, protected him. But she died in her 20s, exhausted and underpaid. Daniel had buried those memories beneath success. Today, Leela unearthed them. He pulled out his laptop and searched for medical aid for uninsured families. Then he called his lawyer and financial advisor. "I need to set up a private medical fund, and I want to sponsor a child's education immediately." "You sure, Daniel?" His advisor asked, confused. "This isn't tax-related." "No," he said, "it's life-related." He barely slept that night. Not because of stress, but because, for the first time in years, he felt alive. The next morning, Daniel returned to Leela's apartment not alone, but with a doctor, 2 social workers, bags of groceries, blankets, and a new coat for Leela. Sandra cried as the doctor examined her. "Why are you doing this?" she whispered. Daniel replied, "Because someone once helped me when no one else would. Now it's my turn." He paid for Sandra's hospitalization and hired a nurse to care for her during recovery. He got Leela enrolled in a private school with tutoring and transportation. The first time Leela wore her uniform, she hugged him tightly. "You're like an angel." Daniel smiled, tears welling up. "No, sweetheart, I just finally remembered what it means to be human." But he didn't stop there. Daniel launched a foundation called Leela's Light to help struggling single mothers and their children. The foundation partnered with clinics, shelters, and schools. What started with one girl became a lifeline for hundreds. His board of directors was skeptical. His PR manager warned it might be bad optics. But Daniel didn't care. The man who once climbed the corporate ladder with a frozen heart had now found something more powerful than profit purpose. 1 year later, the city's largest community center overflowed with people. A banner read, "Leela's Light Annual Dinner Honoring Hope and Humanity." Families sat at round tables, eating warm meals. Children played with donated toys. Volunteers passed out jackets and school supplies. On stage, now, confident Leela stood in a neat dress, holding a microphone. Beside her stood Daniel, beaming. She cleared her throat, nervous. "I want to say thank you to Mr. Daniel for saving my mom and for believing in me. I used to ask for leftovers, but now, because of him, I have dreams." The room fell silent, then applause thundered. Sandra, healthy and smiling, stood in the front row, clapping with tears streaming down her face. Daniel looked out at the sea of faces, families he now knew by name. Once he had built towers of wealth for strangers. Now he was building bridges of hope for real people. And in that moment, he finally understood what Mia used to tell him. This story is a powerful reminder that the smallest acts of kindness can lead to the most profound transformations. What began with a simple, humble request, "May I have your leftovers, sir?" unraveled into a journey of healing, purpose, and rediscovered humanity. Through Leela's innocent courage and Daniel's awakened compassion, we see how love and empathy can bridge the widest gaps between wealth and poverty, success and struggle, loneliness and belonging. Daniel, a man consumed by the cold pursuit of profit, was changed forever not by a major business deal, but by a little girl's unwavering hope and quiet strength. In a world often blinded by status, noise, and selfish ambition, this story urges us to look up, look around, and see the silent stories unfolding beside us. Because sometimes, when we take the time to truly look into someone's eyes, we don't just see their pain, we rediscover our own lost purpose. Let this tale be a beacon, a call to act with empathy, to give without expecting, and to believe that no gesture of kindness, however small, ever goes to waste.